And here we are.
Yo! Boom! Oh, shit. What's going on? We're back. We're back and we're ready. We got some shit to talk about. We're talking about diets. What's going on, Alan?
What's going on? What's going on? I got my nectar, my nectar and some fiber chilling out. That's my lunch.
Fiber is so good for you, man. That's the one thing, getting just jumping the gun, that the carnivores got all wrong. Like keto's got it, right? They're like, okay, we're going to eat fiber. We're going to have broccoli. We're going to have fiber and shit. We're even going to go so far that we're not even going to count fiber as carbohydrates. They went a little too far off the edge. Yeah. Then carnivores are like, hey, guess what? Fiber kills you. It's bad for you. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like fiber's the one thing. If you look at all the data on fiber, it just makes you live longer. It makes you have less chance of cancer. It's fucking amazing. Controls your blood sugar, lessens your chances of getting diabetes, of having symptoms from diabetes if you have diabetes. And yet somehow the carnivore people are like, fiber bad. I'm like, oh, but we can still poop. Oh, well, there you go. Just because this one guy can poop, that means that you don't need fiber. I think fiber is necessary.
I would agree 100%. I think that what we see is like, anytime you get tribalism around anything, it's bad. Like I think that's like if I can tell anybody one thing that I encourage her to be a free thinker.
Yes.
Like because here in a little bit in the comments section, we'll get a few of the trolls. There'll be somebody like saying like, "Oh my God, you guys are immoral for being vegan or for eating meat because you're not vegan." And then other people like the crazy carnivore cult people will show up and pretend like if you eat anything besides meat, you might as well jump off a building. Like,
bro, the oxalates.
Do you know how many people have told me that like, well, you don't eat optimally? Like, motherfucker, I'm like 10 years older than you, and that you could never keep up with me, and you're gonna tell me how to manage my fucking health. It's always amazing to me.
Isn't it the best?
Yeah,
like, it's just absolutely the best. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Like I like when people like. I'm not one of those like, look at me. A lot of people lie. Like we're looking at that one influencer whose heart failed and he's like, oh, it was genetic. I'm like, you're like 30. It's not. Genetics only go so far.
If you have a heart attack at the age of 30, you can't, and you're an athlete. Like if you're an athlete, you cannot blame genetics because if it was genetically inclined, you would have had more, like when you get to the point where you're a large bodybuilder or you're a football player, like no football player should really be like, it's genetically my heart. Like shut the fuck up. Like you training at that type of level alone has some serious oxidative ability, some seriously oxidative stress to it. Right. But then again, man, you fucking look at these people who like they openly say it was my genetics after they have a heart attack at 30. And I'm not harsh on the dude. People know who we're talking about. I like his content. I'm not harsh on him, but to just fucking come out and be like, yeah, I had a heart attack at 30. It was a genetic thing. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, I mean, you're 250 fucking pounds as an average height of muscle. And there's some shit that goes involved in that. Like you push the razor's edge too fucking far, Yeah,
seriously. I mean, at the end of the day, steroids, when abused, will probably end your life early.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, but how else are you going to spin that though? Like how else are you going to spin you had a heart attack at 30 something? You just got to point to genetics, but you got to fess up and say, maybe I should downsize a little, right?
Yeah. Man, that was the biggest thing. Like for me and a lot of these guys, giving up being really, really, really strong, and especially when that's what you're known for, is really tough because, and what I feel even worse for some of these guys, like some of the guys like you and I know, like they made their fame off being massively larger than life, freakishly strong or freakishly chiseled or whatever. But they're pretty fucking stupid. They've got very little to fall back on besides that.
No.
And it's like when that goes, what else do you do?
Like OnlyFans girls who are making money. Like, what are you going to do when you're like, Father Time is undefeated. Yeah, like you're not always going to be able to sell your body. Like hopefully you marry a rich guy or something. Yeah. And that's where you get people like Kali Muscle, as he can't let go of the whole muscle head thing because it's all he knows is how he pays his bills. So these guys are like, they're clinging to their physique, to their body. It's like being an aging stripper. Like you have to have something to rely on. Yeah. Wow, we've gone so off tangent. Let's talk about diets.
Well, no, I mean, this goes along with it.
Makes sense.
It does make sense. Like I personally think the best diet is the one like we can put this out there. Other people were actually asking me in the comments already before we on other media. The best diet for you is going to be the one that you stick to that keeps you not fat. Mm-hmm. I got to be real. That's the best diet for you. Like I do find it crazy. Like most people, like Mark, myself, we end up gravitating towards eating kind of the same way after a while, just because when you can't dedicate the entirety of your life just to performance, when you actually have like family and like you have to be around people and shit like that, you have to pick the thing that you can do most repeatedly in a social environment that can be like consistent, right? That you're willing to live with. Most people aren't willing to live like how Mark lives when he's prepping. Like what the fuck? One time,
I'm not willing to live like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
But that's
an
extreme. That bodybuilding is essentially the sport of dieting. Yeah. You know, that's like saying, you know, CrossFit. A lot of CrossFitters, they're not doing a CrossFit competition every time they train. No, they're doing different WODs, but they're not doing a 20-mile bicycle race and then a swim and then a pull-up competition. That's the actual event. So like bodybuilding during the year is literally you go in and you weight train, you build muscle and you burn. And then when it's time to lose weight and get ready for the stage, you're basically dieting is your sport. I mean, it's hard to say, but I would say that of all components of bodybuilding, training and dieting becomes the sport, which is weird because that's involved in every sport, but that is the sport. And presenting your package, posing is an art form. It's hard to learn, but like it's not that bad. Your suffering is going to be dieting. So I would like to say I wouldn't. No bodybuilder does that year round. You have to have those breaks where you have your maintenance calories and this and that. So the bottom line is for human beings to live healthy and be their best and be optimal. You look at these diets, you got the carnivore, the keto, Mediterranean, you got vegan, you got blood type, this, that, and the third. We go over a lot of them, but I think that if you're going to go by the you know, clickbait kind of just whatever saying a cliche type, what diet do you follow? What fad diet do you think's the best? Which one has more data on it than any other diet showing that it's effective? Which one is more balanced and more likely to be adhered to for years and years and years? I had somebody in our Twitter mentions be like, oh, well, I do carnivore fasting like a month or two on and then off. Like if your diet requires an off period, it's not the right diet. That's literally a horrible habit to get into. You get fat and then you deprive yourself to get rid of it. I want something you could live with 365 days a year.
So if the parameters are, we have to stick to what the kind of diet is regimented, like we have to stay in there. The one I personally feel that I could stick to the longest would be Mediterranean.
100%. I think a lot of what we do, a lot of what we recommend will fall under the Mediterranean diet. You know, you got the healthy fats from olive oil, a lot of them. You got carbohydrate from pasta, and they eat a good amount of meat. If you look at the most diverse, nutrient-dense diet out of all of them, it's a carbohydrate diet. The vegan diet is lacking in stuff. You know, I remember Jess, who's on here right now, she was like, well, I was vegan and it didn't work. And it's like, it didn't work for me. And someone like a vegan shot back, well, you didn't supplement. She's like, actually, I did. But here's the funny thing. If your diet, and as someone who sells supplements for a living, if your food requires supplements for you to survive, that's not a good diet.
Not a good diet.
So the thing about carnivore is you can survive just fine without any deficiencies, but you lack fiber and you lack those awesome nutrients that you get from plants. So, but I guess if you're going to choose an exclusionary diet, vegan versus carnivore, I'm going carnivore every day.
Oh, 100. Yeah. Like if it's a choice between the two, like just those two, it's absolutely carnivore. Vegan is like, and I hate to say it, vegan is just not sustainable unless you have supplementation. The way the plant system is worked out right now, it's just not. Most people don't like. You're not going to get enough complete protein or amino acids, and your hair is going to turn blue because you're going to feel like dyeing it, and then because it makes you crazy. I think it really does. But
I think that the lack of DHA and EPA in vegan diets, and a lot of them don't supplement with the vegan alternatives for DHA, EPA, the seaweed. When you don't have those fats in your brain, it's not good. And also cholesterol. Vegans lack cholesterol. Cholesterol is absolutely necessary. Your body produces it, but not enough of it. Cholesterol is literally at the charge in hormone creation in your body.
Yeah.
You need cholesterol. You need dietary cholesterol. I firmly believe that. So and you ever see, did you see what's his name? Iron Man. The guy who plays Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. So Robert Downey Jr. Funny story. Remember his booking photo when he got arrested? You know who took that? My brother-in-law. He was the jailer at the time. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. He was a cop. He is a cop. So that's the story about Robert Downey. But have you seen him lately? He looks worse than he looks worse than he did when he was on fucking drugs.
Yep.
Like the guy looks terrible. Like vegans, look, some people do it right. Like Hawk does it right. Our guy, but he supplements like a motherfucker. The guy's eating like a bag of Planta a day. Yeah. So the number one deficiency vegans are going to have are protein. A lot of them really suck at getting protein. You're not going to eat enough beans and rice to get you enough protein, and tofu's bullshit. So what do? You have to get a good vegan protein powder. Planta has helped people like Hawk, put on a ton of mass. The number one deficiency is protein, but then you got B12, DHA, EPA, all that stuff. Well, can I get it from flax? No. Alpha linoleic acid does not convert readily in the body. It does convert, but it's a very shitty conversion. So you're not going to be able to take flax oil and get the benefits from fish oil.
It's this weird thing where, we actually broke down a video. You should watch them. There are 2 documentaries. It's Fat and Fat 2. And you can get them. You can get them here. And it talks about the differences of how, like, they convinced people that the fat was bad, basically, and how like eggs are horrible. At one point in time, they were saying that 1 egg a day is the equivalent of 5 cigarettes. Is as unhealthy as 5 cigarettes.
Oh my God!
It's just straight propaganda. Like they want people sickly, and I really think that like the diet is a huge portion of that. One of the reasons why I like Mediterranean is I wouldn't even do the pasta, but it has a much more wide variety of foods, colors, flavors, and stuff like that. So it's way more sustainable for me. You know what I mean? Like to not eat a range of shit. Like that's a big problem I got with fucking carnivore. Like I'm a great chef when it comes to meats. I can smoke, grill, pan sear, roast, you name it. I can fucking do it. I'll still get bored as fuck. I want some fucking veggies occasionally,
Yeah, we normally don't read these till the end, but your body, no, you're right. You can survive without cholesterol, but are you optimal? Your body produces just enough to not die. I do firmly believe that you need to ingest dietary cholesterol. Yeah. Also with the studies I think it's conclusive evidence by now that serum or dietary cholesterol does not affect serum cholesterol. Right. So when you intake cholesterol from eggs or whey or any other animal food source, it's not going to impact your HDL, LDL. Mm-hmm. So that's something to look into as well. So yeah, the problem is, like, can you survive on carnivore? Yes, nobody's dying. Can you survive on vegan? Yes. Mm-hmm. What is optimal?
Right. And that's, I think, where people lose the whole thought process of it. I think that I really don't understand why people are so tribal. If people wouldn't be so tribal, if you prefer to eat less animal meat, great. Mm-hmm. But I think that people had, like, a lot of times we get what's called diet fatigue.
Yes.
Everything under the sun. And then they're like, I was told I couldn't eat this from keto, and I was told I couldn't eat this from carnivore, and I was told I couldn't eat this from vegan. So they're left with like this stress around food when it's like, eat fucking veggies and meats and fucking do your thing. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like get stressed out about eating a lot of processed carbohydrates and ultra processed foods. There's a lot of data, especially recently, that shows that shit even makes you stupid.
Oh yeah, I just did a video on that being fat makes you stupid. But the thing is, it's the study was really hard to dissect because they're fat, they're stupid, but they're also eating processed foods. Processed foods makes you fat. So is it the processed foods that make you fat and then you become stupid, or is the processed foods making you stupid and then you become fat? I think it's a little of each. I think processed foods and being fat all makes you stupid because processed foods are lacking those micronutrients that keep your brain going. And also the fact of the matter is, a lot of times when vegans go off and they shit on red meat, they point to studies and all this stuff. They're usually citing studies that utilize processed meat. They're lumping together fucking spam with grass-fed beef.
That's just insane too.
It is. We can't look at meat intake as hot dogs. You have to look at meat intake as regular meat. Like I'm not, and I'm not one of those guys like, you gotta have grass fed. If you look at the differences, it's not that much. A little bit of omega-3 difference, a little bit of CLA difference. Other than that, they're pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. They're not that different. So at the end of the day, whether you buy the cheap meat from Vons or Kroger, or wherever the fuck you shop, or you do what I do and you go to a farmer and you have him kill a cow for you, you know, I think the difference is negligible. Obviously, if you're looking at the best, yeah, you want to be able to pick your cow out. He's out there eating grass, being happy, he's tanning all day. Like, and then they kill him and I eat him. And then like that's
delicious.
Yeah, and they're fucking delicious. So again, when we talk about diets, we don't give a fuck about if you'll die or not from that exact diet. Will you thrive and will you be able to sustain on it? And the answer is, did you see that? Did you see that study? I think it was like 5 years ago that I think it was like 39% of vegans eat meat when they're drunk or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's something ridiculous. It's like they cheat on veganism when they get drunk.
Oh my God, like you're so hungry for meat, you won't adultery is not even a problem. You'd rather eat a fucking burger.
Yeah, I mean that's where it gets just fucking crazy. Like because they want it. We are biologically hardwired to want to eat meat. I really believe this. We talked about this earlier on my channel on the live we did earlier, and we talked about it all the time. You're biologically hardwired to want to eat meat. I mean, that's the increase in protein ingestion is what people think is the missing link between us and other primates. We started eating animal protein meats, and it caused our brains to get bigger. Like we are of course going to go towards it. You know, I mean, shrimp is also bad for you. It's equivalent of eating a cockroach.
Bro, you are. I love your comments. No, shrimp is delicious. Shrimp is great. I love shrimp, dude. I went and got pokey the other night. You know, I got a pokey thing going on. Yeah. Actually, I was with Sean. It was my last night. And I'm there last week, a week ago, and I was like, dude, let's go to pokey. I got this raw shrimp with tuna and salmon. It was so good. But no, shrimp are not like eating cockroaches. And if you're a fan of the World Economic Forum, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, apparently we're all going to be eating cockroaches before too long.
Eat Z-bugs. Dude, here's the thing. I hate to just go off tangent, but World Economic Forum, could they have more stereotypical evil people? Like you really got a fucking German guy who says Z?
It is like watching, it's almost a parody of a Bond film. Like it's like if Saturday Night Live and the people that created
South Park. It's got to be South Park.
Got together and it's like a complete parody. Like the first time I saw Klaus Schwab, I'm like, he sounds like a Bond villain. Like, I mean, I don't need to watch the rolling credits to know that's the bad guy. Like, I mean, I can tell you just by video, that is the bad guy. You know, like that is the bad guy.
And they're all
shrimp
so are catfish.
So are you, bitch. I mean,
Alan, I thought our New Year's resolution was to not call people bitches on our lives.
Who the fuck said that? Whose resolution is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my dog. Ruckus said.
Whose resolution is that? I would never make that resolution.
Okay, sure. I lied. I mean, shrimp are bottom feeders.
Shrimp are bottom feeders. Like,
what about? Well, that's the thing, though. Well, so are krill, and krill oil is great. Like,
krill oil is fabulous for you. Like catfish are bottom feeders, delicious. You know.
Yeah, dude, you can't go to the South and talk about catfish. That's racist.
I mean, it is straight up racism.
Yeah, but so what do you think about? So my favorite hoax ever was the blood type diet.
Oh my God, dude!
Eat right for your type. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's so insane. Like some of the things. I was talking about this the other day, like why I don't make V-Shreds videos anymore. Like, dude, what the fuck would I say besides he's stupid? I've said everything, but also there's a lot of V-Shreds. Like a lot of these people figured out, like, let's just push the marketing. Let's have a gimmicky statement and let's do this shit. And that's one of them. The body type. We went from the body type quiz to the blood type diet to the like this, that, like to be like absolutely straight up. In the last five years, I've probably been an ectomorph, an endomorph, and a mesomorph. Right? Like I've been fat as fuck, looking like an endomorph. I've been a little too skinny when I looked like an ectomorph, and I normally have like a mesomorph frame, right? But it's just it's the blood type thing. I have yet to see any compelling evidence for that either. Like blood type dieting. Have you seen anything that would make you think that that's anything but a fad?
No, I did a video years ago on it, and I just went off because that was when I used to rant more on my videos. I used to like yell and say boom and all that shit. Like I still say boom, but yeah, I mean, it just the fact of the matter is 99% of the diet books out there are bullshit because there's nothing sexy about what we promote. Like we're like, hey, yeah, meat's good, veggies good, rice is good. Hey, have a piece of cake here and there. Yeah. You know, like that's not sexy. It's just not. And we're like, hey, you know, when you can eat whole good foods and you know, go fucking eat eggs and it's like it's just not sexy. And these guys are like, you know, but I do like having two opposing crazy diets, you know what I mean? Like carnivore and veganism, because they're both giving us data that is one-sided, right? It's very cherry-picked, but if you go like in the middle, it actually kind of makes sense because that's where you get the answer is like, okay, these crazy fucks are saying this. These crazy fucks are saying this. The answer's somewhere here. Mm-hmm. So veggies are good. Yeah. Meat is good.
All veggies or all meat, maybe not so good. So,
well, I like when you get genetic fucking anomalies, like genetic freaks going like, oh, well, I'm doing this and it's this diet. It's like, yeah, but you would do that on fucking Fritos.
Yeah. There is obviously like the sad thing is there is such clearly genetic difference.
So you brought that up, octopus?
Yeah, octopus, another no. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like,
what's wrong with octopus?
Let me tell you something, dude. If talk about privilege, because if you were starving, I could feed you octopus at like fucking 365. It's just funny to me.
Oh, this answers it because in the Bible, they say that thou shalt not eat octopus. Was that James Bond, Octopussy? Was that James Bond?
So yeah, I think so. Octopussy, yeah. So also in the Bible, you probably shouldn't be talking on your fucking phone online. And also, are you wearing threads of mixed matching threads? Like, if you're wearing something that's both cotton and acrylic or cotton and rayon, you're going to hell. You
what?
know, like, yeah.
I didn't know that. Is that in the Jewish Bible too? Is that in the Old Testament?
It's the Old Testament. You can't
wear. My people were fucked. There's no fun, no fucking pork ribs.
No pork ribs at all, dude. And no paella, no shrimp.
I couldn't eat shrimp with milk. Why the fuck can't I combine dairy and seafood? Can someone explain that shit to me? I understand the pork. Why can't I have a nice cold glass of milk with my shrimp?
And it's never made sense to me either, because technically, you're like how the Bible reads, you should be able to have milk with pork too, because unless the milk came from a cow's or from a pig's titty, because it's like you shouldn't drink the milk and the meat of something at the same time. So,
yes,
we're super Christian here, and the Bible does not mention octopus.
Super Christian.
and bro, we're talking foods. No, man, you brought in the Bible, bro. Like, I mean,
my God, super Christian. I love that. That's so cute.
That's awesome.
Super Christian. I am super Christian.
But
I'm super Jew, mega Jew.
I'm mega Jew, like Mark's mega Jew.
That's like a Pokemon character.
Yeah, that's actually like you're the full form Jew.
I am the mega Jew.
Now watch people take that clip of me calling you a Jew, and then they'll try to come cancel me, even though like you're Jewish, and like it's crazy.
Man, you know what? I asked that question on Twitter yesterday. I'm like, so what do I mark on? Because I actually did this survey at my gym. Like, are Jewish people white? Like, I can't get a fucking answer. And it was directly down the middle. It was 50-50. And I asked about 50 people, had no idea what I was talking about. I'm like, so like, should I mark? They're like, I don't know, man. Because like on my 23andMe, it says Ashkenazi Jew. It doesn't say Caucasian or white.
Right.
So I'm like, well, if they can tell what the fuck we are in our DNA, that means that, well, fuck, that's like a race.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
I personally think that like, it's weird because Jewish people are a different race when it's inconvenient for them.
Yes.
And they're the same race when it's inconvenient for them. You know what I mean? Like Whoopi Goldberg says it's white on white crime when millions of fucking people were killed in the Holocaust. That's white on white crime. Fuck it. We don't care about that. You know, like it's so weird. Like, but Jewish, like, and don't get me wrong, because I mean, and I'll come for me like I'm Kanye, but Jewish people run Hollywood. Like,
Oh, they do. I told you.
They run Hollywood, and they run the mainstream music industry in Hollywood. They run it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but so when I was interviewing for American Grit, the final week, we're in a hotel. So we're in a hotel right by LAX, and they quarantined us in the hotel because they were interviewing us. They were doing all our EKGs and all that shit and testing us for drugs and everything. And like, so I walk into the final interview, and there's 7 people, like 3 girls and 4 guys. And I walk in, I looked, and I'm like, you're all Jewish. I said that. I said, you're all Jewish. They said, how do you know? I'm like, because you fucking look Jewish. And they're like, are you Jewish? I'm like, of course I am. And I think that's why I got on the show.
That's interesting.
I was like, my Judar was just, but you know, Jewish people look Jewish. Like, I don't have the features of a lot of Jews, but my brother does look way more Jewish than I do. Like, yeah, he said he went to Germany. He did go to Germany, like when he was in his 20s with his now wife. And he's like, they just looked at me funny. I'm like, yeah,
because
you fucking look Jewish. Yeah, you're just a big, tall Jewish guy walking around with your big nose hanging out. And
big nose hanging out. That's awesome.
You can't hide that shit.
No. Mine is
like,
actually mine is much smaller than what it used to be. I had mine broken for me many times when I was younger, so it's like fused bone now. But it was still not the Jewish nose. It would more like be like the American Indian style nose. But
my brother's walking around breathing all that air.
The hostility in here is real.
Oh, we're so hostile.
Let me tell you something. Like, I don't understand. Like, were all you young men that talk like this, like you talk about hostility in chats and group chats, like, did they teach you how to take the tampon out of your pussy? Because I just don't even get like how you weak ass motherfuckers can possibly call words, like even joking about it, like it's hostility in here. Like, dude, it's just conversation. And this is fucking super ass mild compared to what me and Mark normally are. So if you're so fucking like, and I know you're probably joking, you're probably just trolling, but to even think that way as a troll, like you think that this could be even conceived as hostility, just means like I would be so ashamed if you were my kid. Like I'd be like, fucking nut the fuck up, you pussy. Like, I mean, seriously, go outside and fucking go kill a fucking squirrel or something like that and fucking cook it over a fire. You need to fucking toughen the fuck up. You're the same one. This is the same one that was saying it, like we shouldn't eat shrimp and octopus. Dude, like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, how sheltered are you? Like, how many participation trophies are needed for you to think that words are hostile? You know
what? I just, again, I'm the most loving parent who doesn't cuddle. I don't like cuddling. It's weird. But like, you know, my son went out and wrestled his balls off yesterday and had the fight of the night. It was crazy, dude, versus the rivals and versus our crosstown rivals. Actually, they're not mine. I coached more kids from that school than our school. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, my son's a fucking man. You know what I mean? Like he turns 15 in March, and I'm like, okay, we're on the same path. And then earlier that night, like so check it out. So at 5 o'clock, I had a session at Legacy. Preston was in it. He deadlifts 225 at 10 years old. The day he turns 10. And then my wife goes, hurry up. Thomas is about to go in like 20 minutes. So I'm speeding up the mountain road to get to my house. You've been on McEwen, that mountain road. Yeah. And I go and I'm running in, and he's a minute into the match. And I walk by the front desk. I'm like, I'll pay you in a minute. My son's going. They're like, go ahead, Mr. Coach Lowbliner. I ran in, and it was just the end of the first period. I'm like, let's fucking go. And then it got lit. That's when the shit got, that was such a good match, dude. It was awesome. And then afterwards, everybody's like, that was the sickest match ever. Like, it was crazy because they were both really good. And it was back and forth. And at the end, the kid just made one wrong move. And I said, pow, pancake. Boom. I mean, there were so many good reversals. Like it was 1-2. Thomas was down by 1 at the end of the first period. Then he was up like, I think it was 8-5. And then he got those 3 back points before he pinned him. So it ended like 11. It was great. So good. But amazing. I mean, but what I'm saying is like, dude, like the problem with that app gaming guy is his parents just he didn't have a man in his life. I guarantee you his dad wasn't doing epic shit. No. Like, men need to fucking be men. I'm tired of fucking seeing this. Like, the reason you see people fighting and all this, like, we're running out to the car. We had to go home. It was after the mate, and I'm with Thomas. And Tom's like, I think those kids are about to fight in front of the gym. I'm like, oh, we ain't going home. I'm not letting kids get in a fight, ruin their lives. And there's 2 resource officers there. They had it, but I'm like, I don't want them to get involved. I'm going to go over there and be like, dude, pipe the fuck down, go home, have mom's stovetop stuffing. You live in goddamn Brentwood, Tennessee. You're not a gangster.
Yeah.
You're a studio gangster. You can afford to buy a gang. You can literally buy the Crips.
Yeah. What's the price tag in the Crips? That would be an expense, because I hear they have some fucking like the actual like assets, you know. So anyway, but I will say this though, like if you are the father of a teenage child, like a teenage boy, and they haven't been in a fist fight, sign them up for some sort of combat sport. Like all men and women, I think, like everybody should enter some combat sports. Like take your
everybody.
My kid trained MMA. I trained judo when I was younger. We're probably going to start rolling again here in like another month or two. Like where there's a nice jiu-jitsu place down the road. But you know, and it's just I'm not going to fucking film it. It's for me and my kid. But put your kids into fucking some sort of like activity where they put their hands on each other. Like, because it teaches very important lessons that I think are being missed. Just like we were talking on our Twitters, what was it, yesterday? Like how great, like we absolutely, they were talking about mandatory jabinations. We should absolutely have mandatory testosterone replacement therapy for a huge portion of society.
Yeah, I had 2 rules in my house. You had to have a team sport. That could have been anything. Could have been band. I don't care.
Yeah.
And a combat sport. So all of my daughter boxes right now. She did wrestle. She won regionals last year. First year boxing, no experience. She just was strong. And both of my sons, my 10-year-old now is a national champ, and my 14-year-old is, you know, he boxed really well. Thomas was a hell of a. You've seen Thomas fight.
Yeah.
Thomas could throw, man.
Thomas is going to be an absolute terror here in a couple of years. Like,
yeah, when he grows, he's going to kick my ass, and I'm not prepared.
It's going to be very pleasant to watch. You have to, because Thomas is also wild as fuck too. Like,
dude, he got me in a hold the other day, and it hurt. Like, I was like, fuck. I was pretending like it didn't hurt, and then I'm like, fuck. Like, he had my shoulder. Like, I'm like, Yeah. And I outweigh him by 110 pounds.
And the thing about Thomas, what I think that the audience doesn't realize is like, he's like shitty sarcastic like we are too. Like,
horrible.
like shit.
Dude,
like I see so much what he of us and him when he talks. I'm like, oh my God.
Dude, I had a teacher call 2 weeks ago. He's like, well, he's just kind of sorry. I'm like, I don't know where he gets it. I don't know. I think it's his mom's side. I'm like, all right, I'll have a talk with him. And then, so you know that Wordle game?
Yeah.
So Preston, it was his birthday, so they were playing Wordle. So he had to put on the board 5-letter word that starts with P.
Pussy.
No, you guessed Tom, penis.
Oh, penis.
And so the teacher called my wife, and my wife's like, well, he was right. And it's not a bad word.
No. And
then he wanted and then she's like, well, what's your favorite song? We'll play it. He says Kendrick Lamar's All Right, which isn't bad. No. The edited version. She's like, that was inappropriate. She's like, you asked his song. Like, they played it on the fucking Super Bowl. Like, so I'm happy.
Asking a kid his opinion and then tell him his opinion is wrong is pretty fucked up.
See, here's the thing though. I love it though. Here's why. Because the schools in liberal states are letting kids identify as cats and wear pussy hats and stuff. Whereas our teachers get mad when you write the word penis on the board. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with conservatism. Okay. Just my son's the fucking wild one, I guess.
Yeah.
He's like penis.
Yeah. You know, he was looking forward to it too. Like it was like what popped in his head immediately.
Yeah, but Thomas guessed pussy too. I mean, we're like, what word do you think it was, Tom? He goes, pussy. I'm like, oh, penis. You know where Thomas's head is? He's 15 years old.
Yeah, he's 15 years old. He's thinking about one thing.
That's it. One track. No, 2, wrestling and pussy.
Well, those are both. And the people that are about to say it's really sexist, too fucking bad. Like 15-year-old boys should be thinking like that is when they should be thinking about sex. They're 15 years old. To try to say that they're not, you're a fucking idiot. Because trust me, they are all the time, nonstop.
Yeah. Oh God, I remember when I was 15.
Yeah. All day.
It was nonstop. Like I'd do math, and I'd be like, man, I could use some vagina right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what helped this situation? supposedly.
Yeah.
That's teenage boys. It's teenage boys. Teenage boys can solve any problem. You can solve any problem was solved with beer and pussy when I was.
And if you play sports, if you're on a team, they're terrible. Because these kids come over my house, and over there is that that media room I have, and so they'll come in here and watch like football games and shit. And I hear what they say. My office is right here. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, nothing's changed.
Right.
Nothing's changed since we were in school. They say the same politically incorrect bullshit that we said. I don't know where they're talking about. Kids are afraid to say things. Yeah. No, they're not. They're not athletes. Not with their bros. No. I mean, it's funny as shit. It's fine.
It's weird but me and you talk about this oftentimes too. Mark and I are under the big divide in our countries. I think is created. Like I think it's all illusion. Yes. Like the same argument between all the diets, like the initial topic. All that shit is noise that's created, like to sell products or get people fighting amongst each other. I really believe so. Yes. The vast majority of the population realizes we're too fucking fat. Like we wouldn't be having the sales we were with No Morbidity and other stuff if people didn't realize this, which by the way, it's at Tiger Fitness now too.
Yeah, No Morbidity is in stock at Tiger Fitness.
Get it?
Finally.
Get it? Yeah. But for the most part, this is social media created. Like you got to be uber nice to people. Like, fuck man. I mean, I still live in an area where people will punch each other out at stop signs. And I'm good with that. You know, like I'm totally like back in the day, when I was growing up, like people would get into arguments at streetlights, get out of the car and punch each other and shit, and then get back in the car and leave, you know? And I just think, I think that like the huge problem with society right now is that people are not afraid of getting punched in the mouth, and people should be. Like me and you, me and Mark have been together live many times. At no point in time when some random person walks up to one of us and starts talking like, hey, I watch you. I know him because I know it happens to me. And I'm thinking this conversation is going to go one of two ways. Like the person either fucking hates my guts, which is almost never happens, or they like my shit, right? I've only had one or two people be like, well, you said this before and it bothered me. And I'm always like, well, fucking too bad. You know, like, I mean, but it's weird because for people that will have tons of people online say they openly hate us and everything like that, Mark literally announces his fucking schedule where he's going to be weekly. And people just show up with loving arms most of the time.
Where are you going to be on March 2nd, by the way, Alan?
We're going to be up at Tiger Fitness Gym, right? Yeah.
Tiger Fitness HQ, baby. We're having a free event, 12 to 5. And we're going to have everything. We're going to have Mediterranean diet food, pizza.
Yeah.
Bro,
pizza.
I'm not spending $1,000 catering food. Y'all bitches getting Domino's. No Last time when I catered food to Carbon, I got the Core Life, the healthy shit, 2 Olympias ago, $2,500.
Shit, fuck that.
Dude, Domino's, $50. Everybody eats.
We'll hand out a sample day of No Morbidity and tell them to fucking suck it up.
You have 2 caps. Here you go.
Here's 3 caps. You're good.
Well, it's going to be awesome because it's a powerlifting gym with pizza. And I don't think anything says powerlifting diet like pizza.
Pizza and McDoubles.
Yeah, but it's going to be cool because I got a camera guy ready. I got a camera crew ready to go. So beforehand, you and I will do our marketing shit. I got him procured today in Ohio. Good. So I'm saving about $1,000 by bringing my guy out from here. And it's going to be dope. I'm looking forward to it because I don't want to go to the expo. I want to host the event. I don't want to be a part of an event. I want to be the event.
That makes me very happy because I've never been to an expo, right?
I hate expos.
It's not something I was ever really like. I thought I'd be good at because like you and I know these people in this industry, and like I don't need you to be fake to my face. I can just watch you be fake on camera. I don't need to experience it live. You know, like
how many people? What percentage of people you see on social media do you think are legit or real?
I've kind of catered it down, so I would say probably 10 to 20%, depending upon. Yeah. You know,
Chris Jones is real.
Yeah, Chris is a real guy. You know, like I think Chris is.
He should be there too. He's probably going to be there too. I'll find out on the 1st.
I think he's very much like how we are. Like this is me. Unfortunately, sometimes you know, unfortunately, this is not an act. Sometimes, sometimes I wish I could just be like, fuck. I wish I could just take this shit the fuck off a little bit. You know?
Chris is good people. CT's legit. Mike's legit. Sean, obviously. Sean, I wouldn't put in the social media bubble, but as far as industry wise, there are some real ones.
Yeah, and I think that to a great degree, the real people are the ones that kind of stick to like the most knowledge base that they know. I think that I think you do, like you especially have done an amazing job in your brands. You fucking like the people, like you gravitate towards people that really know their particular niche, and then you help get that out. I just think that like to a great degree, you go to some of these expos and it's like these guys talking about like my pre-workout's the one that you've been missing. It's why you don't have gains. Like we're still on that. Like let's give them something that's going to help them get through a workout and stuff like that. But like when you say it's the thing missing, like what the fuck? I mean, like I just get lost with some of these people. That's why like the events I've been going to with you in the last couple of years, I love them. I'll go anytime. You get to talk to people, meet people, work out a little bit. Talk. I've given everything from serious weight loss advice to just like shot the shit and talked about people's kids. They're amazing events. I've just I've never wanted to go to like an actual fitness expo because I'm not going to stand in line to shake nobody's motherfucking hand. And I really do not want people standing in line to shake mine.
I like having the like gym events. Like it's just like a fucking clusterfuck.
Yeah.
I love clusterfucks. They're great. Yeah. Dude, Iron Wars, complete clusterfuck.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was so good.
Your fucking white fucking supremacist Nazi event doing fitness and shit like that at Iron Addicts Gym. I think
I counted 3 people with skin my color.
Racist. But, you're just racist.
I'm officially other now. I've gone.
Other. Oh, that's right. You are other. So I would have like been the only white guy if I was.
Yeah, you would have. And here's the thing though. No one fucking cares. In the real world, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Everybody was just having a good time. Like that's the thing is that nobody cares. It's a manufactured social media phenomenon. Before it was a manufactured media phenomenon, but now social media made it more prevalent. How the fuck are they saying racism's worse now than the 60s?
It's insane.
When I live in Tennessee and nobody cares. Nobody cares. I mean, teams are teams. I mean, it's just like, I don't understand. And it's all social media. The problem is when it spills over to the real world.
Yeah. Nobody cares. Like, I always find it amazing that a lot of the very popular people that are talking about how hard it is against race, like how bad racism is and how bad like homophobia is and everything like that. Like the older members of Hollywood, like they're in their 50s and it's like my age, they're in like their 50s, moving on to their 60s. And they're in Hollywood and they're either gay or they're black or something like that. And they talk about how racist are. Like, motherfucker, you realize you're a millionaire and we made you a millionaire decades ago. Like Elton John is famous for being gay. He's an amazing artist, but he is famous for being gay. Like Queen.
I think that helped him. I think it helped him. It was his persona.
It absolutely helped him. So it's like, you're going to have to kind of miss me with all this fucking talk about how horrible.
Motherfuckers wearing sequined fucking suits.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. Even if you're not gay and you're wearing sequin suits, that's pretty gay. I mean, like even if you're not gay and you're wearing a sequin suit, that's pretty gay.
Yeah, I mean? and nobody cared. I mean, in fact, we're like, dude, that's eccentric. I love it. I still love Elton. I still kind of do. And I'm okay.
It is the thing that does not like I do not. These are our entertainment. I don't need to agree with them politically. They don't need to agree with me. I still am going to rock their fucking like. I'm going to listen to what entertains me, whether I think that they are going to like me or not, because I don't give a fuck. But like,
look, T.I. is a woke idiot, but I still listen to motivation every time I train.
It's always funny how like, because I'm sorry, but like you got to be kind of a pussy to be woke. Like in my mind, like you got to be kind of a pussy. And all these guys talk about gangster shit and then they fucking go woke. Like it's fucking crazy.
And then they vote for Biden. I mean, dude, Trump literally, Mac Miller had a song called Donald Trump shit.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Trump was the most hip hop friendly white guy in history. He was in like 20 songs. Like I think what's it from Atlanta? What the fuck? Why am I blanking on his name? But he's been in hip hop songs.
Yeah.
And instead you're going to back a guy who doesn't know where he is and who's a racist. Like Biden is racist. Trump's just an idiot. Trump, look, and I'm speaking as someone who hates Trump. Right now I'm at the point where I hate him.
Yeah.
After what he said about the V, I'm like, okay, you're done. I'm done with you, Trump. I'm out. Yeah. You got me. Now that you're downplaying the bad parts of it, you're done. I can't do it. I can't get the guy's a narcissistic liar.
Yeah, and for everybody that's wondering, Mark and I said this a while back too. Like, I mean, like that's the thing. Like, I just keep seeing people like change their like little like their aspect of shit. Like me and you, like I'm sorry, I don't. We should like actually elect people, like real people, not billionaires and everything like that. But it's the same tribal shit as we were talking about with diets. Like, fucking stop believing in these people. Like, open your mind to other shit too. My goodness.
You know what? I made a video back in like 2012 about how sports and life is going to be more awesome. If that, I was going to say betterer, is going to be more awesome because of racial integration. I think that you're taking, genetics and there's no real pure anything anymore. Like my wife's 23andMe. She traces back to fucking Pocahontas. She's somehow got some fucking African in there. That explains her big ass. She does. She has a big ass. And then there's like, there's a bunch of other fucking European shit. I'm like, you're not even like, if I looked at this, I'd be like, you're mostly white, but she's definitely not as white as she looks. So what the fuck is a white person anymore?
Right.
Unless there's only certain countries, like you go to Japan, you're fucking Japanese. You go to China, you're fucking Chinese. You go to some parts of like the Nordic countries, you're fucking really fucking white and pale. But like there's in America, I don't even know if there is any such thing as a white person anymore.
Right. I agree.
Very rare. Very fucking rare. And also like look at fucking Italians like you. You fucking World War losing motherfuckers.
No, sad.
Fuck. I mean, 2 in a row. But dude, check it out. Where is Sicily? It's literally kissing fucking Africa's tit. It's right. You're telling me. And also, like, I've never been.
Very dark skinned. Like everybody's very dark.
Because it's right fucking next to Africa. No one's pure Italian. Sicilians are basically Africans now. I have no doubt. I want to see you there, 23andMe. And then you have America. Think about it. We had slavery, which really fucking sucked. You know what happened during slavery? White people and black people fucked.
Yeah.
It happened. It's documented. There was a lot of slaves and masters doing their thing. And there you have fucking interracial fucking, there's no such fucking thing as the racism thing is gone because nobody's actually fucking like, if it was so bad to be black, how come Obama claims to be black? He's half white. Why not claim to be white?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like it's whenever you have social media magnify this shit, I think all of it is kind of just like everybody gets frenzied over ridiculous shit. Like I personally, like, man, I think that the differences in people is one of the best parts of America.
Yes.
We can go like you were just in Cali. Me and Mark were just talking about this. I've never been west besides a day trip for work. I've never been west of the Mississippi besides going to Arizona one time ever. Right. But I have clients that talk about foods that I don't even know about from California. Like they're like, I went and got this thing. Like, what the fuck is that? I don't know it. But the same thing, like down here, like I eat mostly fish, gator, like, I mean, steak, like there's other shit down here that you're not going to get everywhere else, And even regionality, like I went to Pittsburgh to visit my family and they threw French fries even on fucking salads. Like
they throw French fries on fucking everything there, man.
It's insane. Like,
what's wrong with you people?
No wonder I was fat. Like for real, it's French fries on fucking everything.
French fries is like salt. It's like you want. They have a French fry shaker at the table. You shake
they put fries on everything, like even salads. It's crazy. Burritos, they'll put French fries right in your burrito.
You're fucking right, dude.
But so then if we start to gatekeep, I see that a lot too. Like, it's the same tribal bullshit that we have with these diets. Like people try to pretend like that's not for you because you're white. That's not for you because you're a girl. That's not for you because you lift. That's not for you because of this. Like we're allowing society to break us up into such little segments that it's easy for huge portions of the majority segment to turn on one topic. And if you take a look, the media is running about a 12-hour news cycle. Like, I mean, the news cycle is so rapid. Like, and here's how I can tell. Remember when they said that somebody tried to kidnap Nancy Pelosi? When was the last time they talked about that? Months.
It's all a distraction. Like the media has been. Do you know 70+% of revenue has been from Pfizer? for all of the media companies.
Yep.
That is scary.
It's a huge number. Bro, between them and Novo Nordisk now is pushing so hard with these weight loss drugs. Like every fucking other ad I'm seeing is for some sort of like weight loss drug or something from Pfizer.
You predicted it. You predicted it after the great fattening of 2020.
I knew, dude. I mean, when you look at it, you know they have these things. Semaglutide came out in like 2018. They just needed a good reason to fucking push it. Mm-hmm. But then with like, I remember one of the first conversations me and you had is like, why are they fattening? Like everybody's gonna be so fat after this. Like nobody's moving, everybody's staying home, everybody's terrified. Like it's fucking crazy. I mean, that people are just not paying attention to the world around them. They're just going with it. It's 12-hour cycle. That's it. It's a 12-hour like news cycle, and they just move on. And they drop these huge fucking statements that should be investigated. Like, I tell you what, if somebody tried to kidnap the Speaker of the House of the United States, we should absolutely find out what the fuck went on. Release all the footage.
The Paul Pelosi thing is fucking scary. And here's why. Why was someone able to get access to the Speaker? You know, Biden had classified documents in his fucking garage. Yeah. You're telling me Pelosi hasn't pulled some shit out of there? Yeah. Like, I got shit. I'm going to be real. There's shit in those cabinets. And there's nothing but there's like tax documents and fucking years of like in this shit. There's stuff in here that my company does not want on the internet, right? Like, so she has shit that pertains to.
He's talking about nudes.
Yes, national security, Alan. And this non-binary guy who was having sex with her husband was just in her house. Yeah. And that's the main, I don't give a fuck about their weird open half gay marriage. I don't care. Yeah, right. What I care about is national security. If they can get into Nancy Pelosi's house, that means they can get into Thomas Massey's house. Yep. They get into Marjorie Taylor Greene's house. Where was his security detail? No one's answering these questions. He should have Secret Service on his old, mother-loving ass all the time.
He just had a DUI not too long before then, too. Like, how is he unattended?
This guy needs a babysitter.
Yeah, well, how are any of them, like, I'm sorry, but how are any of them unattended? To be able to have access to the Speaker of the House of the United States, that was the first thing I think me and you said. I was like, how the
third in line for president.
How the fuck does that happen? Like, I mean, there's not, at some point it's going to be shown that the security detail on him was dismissed. Like, there's no other way.
But no, nobody's asking. Look at Epstein.
Yep, nobody's asking questions. Kristen was just talking about that on our live, how people are just, there are so many follow-up questions that, like, people like me and you, like the average American, we want answers. That's why they won't give them. If you notice, they're not actually taking questions about any of like the vaccine, anything. Are you like, we have video recording of the president of the United States, quote unquote, saying that if you get this jab, you're not going to get COVID and you're not going to die from COVID. You're not going to be hospitalized. You're not going to pass it on. Like at some point in time, somebody should say, who told you that was true? Did you make that up or who told you? And
75% ad revenue told him it was true. Right. I'm not going to claim that Biden knew it would hurt people.
Right.
I'm not going to make that claim. I might believe it, but I'm not going to make that claim. Right. What I am going to say that they overlooked certain questions that should have been asked because the financial gain. Did you see all the contributions Pfizer made to both Biden and Trump? Yeah. The Libertarian Mises Caucus just tweeted that at me this morning.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So at the end of the day, man, it's fascism.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that? That's actually been something that you've been doing more. You've been working more with the libertarians lately. Do you want to tell people why?
Man, I can't roll with Republicans. I mean, I'm going to vote for whoever the Republican nominee is because at this point it's about blocking the Democrats. But I hate Republicans. McConnell, do I really want to share a title with McConnell? Mm-hmm. Like, no. Do I like? There are some Republicans but here's the difference: is that what I do like about Republicans more than Democrats is Democrats will say the sky is green. Next thing you know, every single one, nobody questions it, and if they do, they get exiled. Look at Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is pro, Medicare for all. Yet somehow he's a right-wing guy. Okay. Whereas Republicans, are literally in there trashing Trump for his stance on the jab. So it's quite, the reason I'll vote for a Republican is at least it slows down the decay of society.
Yeah.
Ever since, look, man, how even like they're all pro-war. So whatever, except for Rand Paul. And he's never going to win, unfortunately.
No.
So he's too anti-establishment. The establishment's going to win. So if you're choosing one or the other, choose the one that pretends to like freedom. So at the end of the day, if you're a Democrat like Jimmy Dore and you say, hey, I don't agree with this one position, but I want Medicare for all, boom, you're automatically exiled.
Right.
You have to buy 100% of messaging. If you're it's so libertarians will never win the presidency in the next 10 years.
No.
Now, I'm not going to say never in 40, but here's how it works. They have to gain trust locally.
Yeah.
City council, sheriff, school board, maybe work up to state senator, state house, then governor, then you go federal. For these guys, for the old libertarian, every time they throw a libertarian in the presidential race, it does nothing but hurts the party, because then all the Republicans who are leaning for, who could be libertarians, like, you guys just gave us another fucking Democrat because you took 5% of the vote, dumbasses.
Yeah. I mean, that's on the big stage, especially with who they've been picking in the last couple of elections. I've been like, what the fuck? But I do think, especially sheriffs, especially sheriffs being libertarians, is very, very important. And for those of you that don't understand that, please do. I highly suggest you educate yourself on why it would be. But your sheriff is an elected official, and they actually have jurisdiction over your area. Your sheriff can actually not let even the federal government come get you if they don't want to.
So the sheriffs, like in Illinois, they're not enforcing the gun ban.
Yeah.
They're like, nope, we're not doing it. Like 80 counties or some crazy shit like that.
Yeah. Well,
or 80% of counties.
Illinois is also looking at fucking like, if the sheriffs wouldn't do that, there'd be big trouble, because they're also making like crime legal in Illinois.
So it's one of those things where, so they want to defund the police. Okay, fine. I'm not a big fan of most big city cops. Cool. But then they want to disarm us. Okay. But then they want to make it where you could commit a crime and you're released that same day. And you could literally kill somebody in New York, and if you're under 18, you get released.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's kind of crazy.
I know you can't kill somebody. You commit robbery.
Yeah, robbery. Yeah.
You don't get charged as youth.
Is it New York where if you're under 12 that they won't arrest you for anything?
So what they're going to do is the gangbangers are just going to have kids do all the crime.
That's all. It's sad that it even needs to be said, because it's just commonsensical. Like, if you didn't think that, by the way, you don't have enough street smarts to understand. But anybody that has like some street smarts that knows if you've known one or two dudes that have done crime, you know that that's how criminals think. Like, I mean, like 100%.
When I lived in the hood, man, I mean, we had gang members as little as 8.
Yeah.
8 years old.
Because that way, especially with this, because it used to be like, well, you're a juvie, you'll just go to juvie hall instead. It's no big deal. Now
they don't
get arrested. Yeah, now they don't even go to juvie.
They just let them out.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man, where the Libertarian Party just needs to be patient and realize that you have to build locally. And honestly, to go federal is kind of anti-libertarian. Yeah. Libertarians are all about local 10A. Mm-hmm. That's their thing. They're about state and city governments, state, city, county governments. I think it's a closer step to us actually escaping under, because for those of you that are wondering, I am very firmly believing that the federal government is just out of fucking control. Both Republicans it needs to be scrapped. Everything, IRS, the FBI, the ATF need to be done. They need to be taken apart, and some of them never brought back. Ever.
Like, I mean, we do not need the FDA or the CDC or the NIH for that matter.
Well, I would say the FDA has a place. I like the FDA. The people I deal with, I'm partial because I see people who do bad things with food and drugs. Yeah. But we need to have an FDA that is not funded by the people they're auditing.
Yeah. I would argue that food, especially the production, sanitary, everything like that. Okay, I'm with you there.
Also, GMP manufacturing processes. I'm all for that. I want I want my industry to have some regulation and oversight. I'm good with that. We suck at self-policing. However, CDC needs to be burned to the fucking ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have done everything wrong. Everything. They are evil. They are corrupt. They are murderers.
It depends on like they did horrible things. I think they did exactly what they intended to do. At no point in time, like if you're an intelligent human being, at no point in time would you be able to look at what the CDC has posted up for 3 years and then looked at what they've said for 3 years, and no, you cannot actually justify their actions and words from the data they've posted. Like
no, masks, for example, like that never made sense in the history of the world. That has never made sense. As soon as data was available, it would have never made sense. Particle size, it would have never made sense.
There was no risk analysis for early. It was just all action. So they didn't say like, okay, hey, even if these masks do help, how much do they help and how much could they possibly hurt? Because to pretend that changing something like that, especially during a pandemic when you're going to be touching your face more often, to pretend it's not going to have any like bad side effects is crazy. That that's one of the reasons why I was shocked at how they were allowing the media. They were encouraging the media to act. It's one of the things that told me that they were just going for it. Because I remember texting like they're just going for it. Like the elites are going for it. They are controlling the flow of information. They are aiming people in one direction. That I mean, as shit gets crazier, they're talking about like now they don't even want you using gas stoves. It's like they're trying to reform shit, right? And they just went for it because the biggest thing that they wouldn't have done, like their job, is not in any way to try to scare you, because anxiety is actually a comorbidity. So they would have done everything they could to get people to not panic, to stay calm and shit like that. But instead, they just fucking went for it. Like they fucking went for it. That's why we need new representation, like completely. And I think the Libertarian Party is especially for your local elections. I think that's where people should go towards, because for the most part, libertarians have the widest umbrella about social stuff. Like they just want people to be left the fuck alone. Don't tread on me. Leave me the fuck alone. And then they also are very kind of fiscally conservative. They want to make sure we have lower government, lower taxes and shit like that.
Dude, I think I like App Gaming now. He's been saying all the right things.
Yeah.
On diet, we disagree. Octopus is delicious. Actually, fuck octopus, but shrimp is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, octopus is kind of nasty. I'm okay. You could trash octopus.
I like octopus, frankly.
It's okay, but I wouldn't be like, man, I can't wait to eat some delicious octopus.
No, it's not something I'm going to be like, oh, octopus. Yeah, no, but
if it's in my ceviche, I'm going to be like,
if it's there, I'm like, oh, octopus, like as if it means much, but because it really doesn't. Right? I agree with you. But
it's a little bit chewy.
Yeah, it is. So, Mark, we've been at this about an hour. What do you got for people before we got going on? Anything you want to leave people with?
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, we have the free hydronator with every purchase of MTS Way. That's really a good deal. These are like $20.
Yeah,
it's a good deal. And
what is that? The hydronator?
Hydronator, man. Hydronator. Big as fuck, but it has like the opening, which is big where you can clean it, and a standard shaker cup lid.
That's outstanding.
It's really cool. But yeah, man, this has been fun. I'm like, dude, we need to do a live.
Boom.
Oh, and Ember and No Morbidity are both in stock.
At Tiger Fitness. Get it.
Yes, sir. Well, thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Alan. And we'll get everything booked. See you guys in March.
Yeah, hell yeah. March was a great time, and I hope everybody has a great day. Have a great weekend. We'll be back live sometime next week. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate it.
Take it easy, bro.